Axl Rose is a name that makes you think of a talented musician. He is the singer of Guns N' Roses, and he is known for being very intense on stage. His voice is amazing because it can be very soft and quiet, and then suddenly it can be very loud. Axl Rose is a perfectionist, which means he wants everything to be just right. This is why he spent a lot of time working on the album Chinese Democracy. Fans around the world were waiting for this album to come out. Behind the picture of Axl, there is a musician who is also very well known for having a bad temper and saying what he really thinks about the music business. Axl is not like a lot of rock stars who do not like to say much in public. He gets very upset, has big arguments with people backstage. He also says things in interviews that get him into trouble. One time he talked to Rolling Stone magazine, said some things that really show what kind of person he is. Axl is a person who always says what is on his mind. The things Axl said in that interview with Rolling Stone magazine are very famous now. This attitude caused a lot of problems over time. There were fights that almost broke up the band. People said some really mean things in interviews that ended friendships. Axl did not like some musicians. This went way beyond just disagreeing about music. He really cared about what rock music should be like. He did not like artists who he thought were fake or only in it for the money, or who he thought were hurting rock music. Rock music was very important to Axl. He did not want to see it changed by people he did not respect. His conflicts with musicians were because of this. Axl had an idea of what rock music should represent, and he stuck to it. This person had a lot of fights with names in music. He had disagreements with some of the famous people in rock music. The person and these famous people did not get along. He argued with them a lot throughout his career. He had problems with some of the legends in rock history. Number 1. Kurt Cobain. The thing with Axl Rose and Kurt Cobain was a deal. It showed how different people were in the 1990s when it came to music and culture. Axl Rose and Kurt Cobain had different ideas about what rock music should be. When they met, they did not get along all. People who saw them together said they did not like each other away. This was not about Axl Rose and Kurt Cobain not getting along. It was two different generations and types of music clashing. Doug Goldstein, who worked with Guns N' Roses, said Axl Rose did not like Kurt Cobain because he thought Kurt Cobain represented what was wrong with the grunge movement. Axl Rose thought Kurt Cobain and the grunge movement were a problem. To Axl, Nirvana's music was not what he thought rock music should be. He believed that rock music should have musicians who were really good at playing their instruments, people who can put on a big show, and singers who are like superheroes. Axl liked rock music that was like a performance with complicated music and a lot of drama. Kurt and Nirvana were different. They liked to keep things play from the heart and not make a big fuss. Nirvana was about simplicity, raw emotion, and minimalism, which was the opposite of what Axl thought rock music should be. Axl just did not think that Nirvana's music was what rock music should be about because it was not complicated or theatrical like he wanted it to be. Nirvana's music was simple and honest. That was not what Axl expected from rock music. Number 2. Vince Neil. Vince Neil of Motley Crue was someone who had a fight with Axl. This fight was very personal. Went on for a long time. It started because of something that happened with a woman. Then, it just got worse and worse over the years. People would even threaten each other. Gilby Clarke, who used to play guitar for Guns N' Roses, said that the fight started when Izzy Stradlin hit Vince Neil's girlfriend at a party. After that, things just got really bad. Axl did not like Vince Neil because he thought Vince Neil represented the parts of the music scene on Sunset Strip. You see, Axl thought that on Sunset Strip people cared more about how they looked and acted than about making music. Vince Neil of Motley Crue was the kind of person that Axl did not like. The fight between Vince and Axl became public at the 1989 MTV Video Music Awards. This is when Vince shouted a challenge across the venue daring Axl to fight Vince. Axl responded away with an insult about Vince's singing ability. Producer Mike Klink later remembered that Axl was really frustrated during the Use Your Illusion recording sessions. The reason was that people compared Vince and Axl, the two singers. Axl said he had been training his voice for years. On the hand, Vince had damaged his voice through poor technique and lifestyle choices, Axl said. For Axl, this was about respect and vocal discipline for Axl. Number 3. Sebastian Bach. The rivalry with Sebastian Bach started because of a disagreement between two strong personalities who wanted to be the best frontman in rock music. Sebastian Bach and Axl both had big voices. They could get really angry, and they were great on stage. John Kolodner from Geffen Records said it was like two wolves fighting over the same land. Steven Adler said that Axl thought Sebastian Bach was trying to be like him, singing like him, performing like him, and even acting like him on stage. Axl would call Sebastian Bach Discount Axl when he was not around, which means Axl thought Sebastian Bach was a version of himself. Sebastian Bach was trying to be like Axl, the real Axl. The fight between them got worse when Sebastian talked about Guns N' Roses in interviews. Said Skid Row was just as good. Axl got really mad. Yelled at him backstage at a festival in 1991. He said Sebastian was just trying to make himself look good by talking about Guns N' Roses. Producer Bob Rock said that Axl did not believe Sebastian when he said he could sing high. Axl thought that to be a singer, you had to be able to control your voice and feel the music, not just sing high notes. This shows how competitive the rock music scene was. Guns N' Roses and Skid Row were similar. They both wanted the same fans to like them. Number 4. Fred Durst. Axl really did not like Fred Durst. He thought Fred Durst was part of the reason nu metal became popular. People in the music business said Axl thought nu metal was not good for rock music. When Limp Bizkit started to get really popular in the 1990s, Axl got very angry. He did not like the way the singer was rapping and the guitar parts were too simple. When Axl was working on the Chinese Democracy album, the producer Roy Thomas Baker remembered Axl talking about Fred Durst. Axl said Fred Durst did not understand what it means to be a rock star. He said real rock music is about being honest and open, not being angry or trying to look cool. Axl thought rock music should be about feeling things, not just putting on a show. Number 5. Scott Weiland. Axl had some feelings about Scott Weiland of Stone Temple Pilots. The thing is, their former manager Alan Niven said that Axl saw something in Scott Weiland that really bothered him. He thought Scott Weiland was like what he himself might have become if he had lost control and gotten really into addiction and instability. Axl did not like Scott Weiland's style. He thought it was just a copy of someone else. What really troubled Axl was Scott Weiland's problem with heroin addiction. Axl said that artists should use the pain they feel to make their art better, not let it ruin their abilities. He thought Scott Weiland was letting his problems get the best of him. It was affecting his music. Axl felt strongly about Scott Weiland and his struggles with addiction. When both singers got into trouble with the law and had problems with their careers in the 1990s, Axl got really upset when people compared them. He said his problems were because he was so focused on music. On the hand, Scott's problems were because of his addiction to things. Axl wanted to make it clear that his music troubles were different from Scott's troubles. The singers had different reasons for their struggles, and Axl did not want people to think they were the same. Number 6. Slash. Axl had a tough time with Slash, who used to be in his band and was also a good friend. Matt Sorum, the drummer, said their fight was the worst he had ever seen in the music business. Things started to go between Axl and Slash when they were working on Use Your Illusion. Axl wanted everything to be perfect. Slash just liked to play music and see what happened. Axl thought Slash did not care about the songs, and Slash thought Axl was making things too complicated. The problem was that Axl and Slash had different ways of making music, and this caused a lot of tension between Axl and Slash. Doug Goldstein, the manager, said that Axl started to think Slash was not on his side. He believed Slash was talking to the press behind his back and telling the band members what to do. When Slash left the band in 1996, Axl felt really bad. He thought Slash had abandoned him when he needed him the most. For a time after that, Axl would not even say Slash's name in public. When Axl and Slash got back together in 2016, Axl said it was not because he forgave Slash. He said it was because he wanted to show that he could move on and not be angry all the time. Axl wanted to prove that he could do it without letting his anger control him. The reunion was about Axl moving, and Axl was happy to be doing that with the Guns N' Roses band, and Slash was a part of that. When you look at all the fights Axl Rose was in, you can see some things about the kind of person he's. He got into arguments because he really cared about doing music that was real and good. He wanted to make music that was honest, came from the heart. Axl Rose did not like it when people were fake or when music was about making money. He got very upset when he thought someone was being fake or when rock music was not real anymore. At the time, Axl Rose took it personally when someone did something he did not like. He had a time not taking things to heart when people disagreed with him about music. Axl Rose had trouble separating the music business from his feelings. Despite this, his eventual reunion with Slash showed personal growth and a willingness to prioritize music and fans over resentment. Axl's feuds became part of rock legend, but they also highlight the emotional cost of perfectionism, fame, and uncompromising artistic standards. His story reflects the ongoing tension in rock music between authenticity and commercial success, personal relationships and professional ambition, and creative passion and personal struggle.